I'm theciaellis, and welcome to Grandma's Homestead. Okay, I'm down here at the church because tomorrow there is an election board election, and so my job, one of my jobs, is to set up this classroom here into an election thing. Let me show you and talk to you a little bit as I do this. This is a classroom, and over the years we've always used this one particular room for doing elections, except for the last presidential election. And so not only do I have to get this room ready for an election, I'll show you where it was before when we get to it, but I got to move things over from another building over to this building and kind of turn things back the way they were before the last presidential election. So let's get this cleared out and get ready for the transformation. Okay, I've got the big stuff moved. They usually do a little bit of rearranging once the people who run the election board come in here. But these guys, that's where they check out. Usually the voters come in this door, check in right here, and I'll have some booths set up here in a few minutes and have them check out over there, and then they'll exit that door there. In here, had to put it by plug. Apparently the one on that wall doesn't work, so I'm going on this wall, and I'll get them set up for coffee so they can have that if they want it. Now we're going to go over to the fellowship hall and start hauling a bunch of stuff back over to this building so we can have it for the election in this building again. So this is our resource room that gets well used, and everything I need to take out is right over here. So let me see how much of this I can get out of here and take back next door. Alright, I'm not going to need all of these, but I got them out of the other building and got that building shut down so we can set them up here, and then I can put the other ones in the other closet. Okay, so I got 4 here. They're not expecting very many people here tomorrow. Literally maybe 7. I don't know, all day for a 12-hour shift. Sorry about my voice. So we got that set up there. I can put the rest of these in that closet that we used previously, but I think I've got everything moved. I'll come in the morning and set up the coffee for the people who work here. And, oh, I wanted to show you something else. And this is the flag. And a couple of signs for them to put up in the morning so people know to come to vote. I believe we're good to go. There was water bubbling up from the ground here, and so we had a water leak, and we had And it kind of helps that you can see some of the rain, or what the rain had done too. And like I said, I'll show you the pictures. I'll do that right now while I'm walking and talking. And I'm looking at the one where you can see the flower bed that's flooded. And I'm going to have to check to see if the water got inside the nursery there. We'll find that out in a few minutes. And then this morning, I'm coming back up here again because this time what I'm trying to do, I'm going to go to transform the election room back into Lee's classroom. But we were awakened by all kinds of alarms and stuff this morning. We were in a tornado warning. And according to the radar and everything that was happening with it, it was heading straight for us. So we were all getting up, getting our shoes on, getting our clothes on. And even though Tony and Kayla have a much nicer place than what I had over at my place, it's still a mobile home. And so we were glad. They live up on some hills too, and it got broken up. And I don't know if there's been any damage anywhere, because Kayla had taken the baby to class this morning in town, school this morning at Mustard Seed, and she says she did not see any evidence of damage, but there was a tornado very close to us, but like I said, it dissipated before it got to us. But that was an interesting start to the day too. But now it's time to get back to work. I had told you yesterday that we usually expect about 7 people to show up to these things. I don't know if you can read that, but they actually have 56 people show up to vote for the election board positions. All right, let's get started. Turn this back into a classroom. I believe I have everything as it should be. Back to classroom. Okay, it was good to get that done. I know that takes a couple of days. You gotta have it. I go in on a Monday to set all that stuff up, and this time it was a little more work because I had to switch buildings and stuff too. But and I kind of hate that I missed some of that yesterday because there was a lot of water going in a lot of places. It wasn't the water was not leak. The water leak was not like spewing up. It was just bubbling up out of the ground, and so it took me a little bit to find it. But yeah, that made for an interesting morning. But you know what? I'm surrounded by such cool people at our church. I called the pastor and told him, hey, sorry to bother you at 7 o'clock in the morning, but you have a problem here and I don't know what to do about it. And he guided me on where to find the key to turn off the water. And before I could get the water turned off, somebody else showed up to actually get it done for me. And before noon, somebody else had shown up and it was part of our church and had dug up the old pipe and fixed it and got the water going again. I don't know. I love the town I live in. I love the people that I'm surrounded with, and I love the people that I go to church with. I have lived in a lot of places, or several places put it that way. I don't want to exaggerate. Over the years, and I have never felt as welcome as I have here. And I'm very grateful for that, and very thankful, especially with all the stuff that goes on in my life at one time or another. And we're going through some more changes again. I think the changes from here on out are going to be pretty, well, okay, I said they were going to be pretty good. But you know what? as devastating as it was for me to lose my home, my farm, my animals, in the long run, I know everything's going to be okay. I know that God has a better life plan for me out there somewhere, and I'm looking forward to getting there. I'm looking forward to getting started. I think I've got a long way to go for healing completely, but I've actually been surrounded by enough good people that I haven't hurt as bad as I could have in the past. So life is good. I'm ready to get started. I got more stuff coming up, but I wanted to show you one of the things I do as part of service for the church, because I love the guys. I love doing that kind of work, honestly. It's tiring, but I still enjoy it, and I'm not too old yet. All right, I want to remind you that I have two podcasts, but the one I'm going to tell you about today is Books Highlighted Podcast, and I'm finally on all the podcatchers. I couldn't get on one of them forever, but I finally got them on there, and all I do is I love to read. I don't know if you know me at all. I love to read. Excuse me, I'm trying to get over a sinus thing too. But the pollen count is crazy. I digress. When I read books, and I read a wide variety of books, I also use a highlighter, and I highlight passages of it. And this podcast is nothing but what I've highlighted, and I might do the front back flap of a hardcover book, or read you a little bit about the author that's on it, or something along that line, and like if it's like just the snippet of the story that they put on the flaps or on the back page, or not back page, but the back cover of a soft cover book. I read that, but other than that, it's just the highlighted portions. I try not to do any commentary on any of it. Every once in a while, I might have a real short explanation of what this particular passage was that I was reading. But other than that, it's just straight from the books themselves. I enjoy doing that podcast. It's low-key. It's, it's stuff. And I guess if nothing else, because I've highlighted something that indicates to me that it was something important to me and something that stood out. And when I read it to you, it reinforces what I had read and why I had read it. And why I had highlighted it. So check me out on Books Highlighted Podcast, and of course you could find me on my Facebook page of Grandma's Homestead, and I've got, I don't know, there's a lot going on. I have a lot of things going on. If you look down in the show notes below, you'll see all my URLs where you can find me, my website, my other YouTube channels, where I can be found on Instagram and all of them. But that's all I got for you. Hang in there with me, guys. I'm getting there. I'm getting my feet underneath me. I'm getting things together. I'm getting a game plan, and I'm getting ready to start running forward with stuff again. So, God bless. I'll see you next time, and remember to live until you die.